So what we do is we try to look at ways to decrease fall risk and improve senior fitness in older adults. At the end of the day, we want to know what types of interventions work best for individuals with certain specific physiological deficiencies, things like bone mineral density. That's a factor in fall risk. Obviously, if you want to fall, you want to be resilient to that fall.
I'm Joyce Powell from Arlington, Texas.
I'm Tom Powell from Arlington, Texas. We've lived here for about 52 years, okay?
It stays with you once you've gone through something. The memory of it sort of keeps pegging away at you, and you don't risk things like you used to.
The greatest predictor of a future fall is a previous fall. So we start to restrict the activities that we perform, and that's no different in aging. You know, as we age, if we were walking out on a icy sidewalk, we decide we're not going to walk out on icy sidewalks anymore, and that's a very appropriate selection. But if we don't replace that, if we don't find other activities to engage in that are appropriate or age appropriate, then we see a decline of strength, neurological, eventually cardiovascular, pulmonary, skeletal, all these systems start to decline, and eventually that has a very compounding effect. In daily life, when we see seniors that fall, it's usually during multitasking. And so what we'll do in here is we have the opportunity to recreate that. So we can either pipe in loud noises, city sounds, or music. We can pipe in visual distractors on the screen, or we can even have them take like an IQ type test or a distractive type test on the screen as they're trying to maintain their postural control, potentially with the walls moving and everything kind of moving in concert. We line them up appropriately on this force plate. If they start to lean back, the walls come towards them, or if they lean forward, the walls move away. And that gives them that faulty feedback to their visual information and forces them to maintain their balance or maintain that kind of stable, upright stance.
As you get older, you do develop the fear of falling because you know what's encompassed by it. If you do fall, you're going to end up in the hospital. Then you're going to have to go through rehab. So far, I've been lucky since the only thing that I've broken was the hip, which they were able to pin. It changes your lifestyle. You're aware of where you put your feet. When I walk, I look to see where I am, particularly if I'm on uneven ground. And that's one of the things that I have learned that you just have to do in order to protect yourself, to remain upright. I guess I could take a walker and do it, but I don't want to. I want to be free.
Down the road, the hope is that as we start to see individual patients come in that we're able to prescribe, this is the most efficient and probably the most positive benefit to someone like you. And then even more so, and this is typically the dose response. So how long you would need to do it, how many times a week, for how long, maybe at what intensity to get the results that we're seeking. And so really get into a very prescriptive, using an exercise prescription approach to aging and falls.